Hi everyone, it's the 25th week in Ordinary Time. So on Monday the 23rd of September we are celebrating Saint Pius of Petroclina, or as he's better known, Padre Pio. Padre Pio is a relatively recent saint. He died in sort of 1968 and is famous for lots and lots of different reasons. One, for being a really kind of humble person. He would spend up to 18 hours a day just listening to confessions. But I suppose the thing he's most famous for was his stigmata, which is the injuries that Christ received on the cross. They sort of appear on the body of the person. On Tuesday we are celebrating Our Lady of Walsingham, something that's actually really close to my heart. I've spent a few years now heading over to Walsingham and visiting the shrine. In about 1060, a lady, a noblewoman from the sort of Norfolk and Walsingham area had a vision of the house that Mary received the news that Jesus was going to be her son from. And from there she built an identical house in Walsingham. There's now a shrine dedicated to her and has been there for almost 1,000 years, to Mary, not the noblewoman. On Thursday we're celebrating Saints Cosmas and Damian. You might recognise those names from the Eucharistic prayer number 1, I think it is, where we get a bit of a litany of saints. Cosmas and Damian were twins. They were around in the very early church. They were peaceful characters. They led peaceful lives, and as such their sort of cathedral is called the Forum of Peace. That's another name for it. And so this week think about how we can bring peace to other people's lives as well. Friday we're celebrating Saint Vincent de Paul. He was a French priest who spent the early part of his life as a slave. After this, Vincent dedicated his life to the poor, and there are many different organisations now around the world that celebrate his life and say that he is their patron or their founder. Finally, on Saturday, it's either a Saturday in Ordinary Time, or you could celebrate Saint Wenceslaus from the song Good King Wenceslaus. He was a Bohemian king, or duke, so he was a leader in what is modern day Czech Republic, and he was eventually martyred by being killed or assassinated by his brother for being such a good, wise man. It could also be celebrated of Saint Lawrence Ruiz and his companions. These guys were martyred in Japan during the persecution of Christians over there. There was a period of time where Christianity wasn't allowed in Japan, and so these priests went over to sort of provide the people who were Christian there with support, but unfortunately they were martyred. This week's theme is all about inclusion. How can we include those people in our lives that we might not see or might be on the borders of our friendship groups? Jesus spent a lot of his life living with people and seeing people and spending time with people who were marginalised. So how can we be better Christians? How can we include those people in our lives as well? My name's Charles, it's been lovely being here, and I'm sure I'll see you soon.